money is one of those things that if you don't have it, it is extremely bad for your happiness. Right. I mean, it's horrible. It is horrible to be stuck in poverty, in some kind of a debt spiral, right? It is absolutely debilitating. And you can talk all day long about, oh, you don't need things. You can be happy about that. Yeah, okay, be happy when you're under crushing debt and you're always like, 2 weeks away from losing your shelter, right? The only place where you can live and stuff. It is horrible. So I think that's one of the reasons why money is important. Like, you need to get to that point where you're not constantly worrying about money. It's so bad for you mentally. It's bad for you physically even, right? It's bad for your physical health. So, but that threshold is pretty low, right? The threshold where you can say like, look, I'm secure enough to where it's not just constantly bothering me anymore. That is pretty low. Of course, you can make that worse for yourself by making kids a lot. If you make a lot of kids when you're still broke, well, you're just moving that goalpost down the field, right? So I wouldn't recommend that. If you're a single person, right, that doesn't have, or if you're just you as yourself, not having to take care of other people, essentially, it's a fairly close goal to get to the point where it's like, okay, I can afford shelter, I can, pay my bills, I can feed myself, and I don't have to worry anymore. And that's also the very basics of like getting your shit together financially, is to make sure that you put yourself on that track as soon as possible, right? To getting to the point where it's okay, I don't worry anymore, and I'm on a positive trajectory, right? You have a savings account that's slowly growing or something like that. The peace of mind that can give you is absolutely immense, right? Okay, so that's the first thing. Beyond that, this then depends a lot on where you live and on other circumstances, right? Because, so for example, if you live in America, it takes much more money to feel truly secure, because the healthcare system can fuck you over pretty badly, right?
Oh,
so
yeah.
you can have like one case of a serious illness in your family, and even if you're pretty rich, that's it, right?
Takes you out,
a lot of money. So whereas in other places in the world, that's a completely different picture. So there's also where geographic freedom can become pretty important, right? Sometimes one of the best things you can do to update your living situation and update your wealth is to move somewhere else. I also think it's pretty, it's good for a healthy society and a healthy world if people can vote with their feet, right? Just be like, well, fuck this, I'm leaving. That's very good.
With their feet. That's funny.
So again, that's a level of freedom that if you have that level of freedom, it can give you, like, it's a significant form of freedom, whether you're stuck in one place or not, right? Now, beyond that, and I think that is, if you think about how much money do I need to have that level of freedom, it's really not that much, right? We're really not talking about, about millionaire numbers here.
Right.
So beyond that, what's the point of more money? I think that ultimately, people want to be happy, right? People want to live a good life, and it's in itself is not that useful to just have loads of money. And also, like we talked about, it's not that useful to just have loads of stuff. So then what's the point? Well, I think that, again, you have to basically come to your own conclusions about this.
Right.
But I think that, one of the things is you can fall in love with the game, right? You might fall in love with the entrepreneurial game and be like, look, money is just one of the ways to keep score, right? I want to keep getting better at this game. And one of the ways in which I keep track is, as I get better, I make more and more money. And that's one way to like stay motivated, and also one reason to keep pursuing money. It's just like, well, I want to be doing this stuff, right? I want to be doing this creative work. I want to be challenging myself. I want to be getting better at this. And as a consequence of that, I should be making more money. And if I'm not making more money, it means that I'm slacking off somewhere.
Yeah.
And then what you also find, I think you find quite a lot of, especially self-made wealthy people do this, where they just go, well, what positive effect do I want to have on the world? And generally with more money, you can have a greater positive effect.
Right.
And whatever that is, it's like, oh, I'm going to build schools in third world countries, or I'm going to do some environmental project, or whatever it is, right? But you just have this goal where you're like, I want to have this positive impact on the world. And if I have $10 million, the impact is bigger than if I have $1 million. And that's what keeps you going, right?